Okay, sorry, I just had to. I only have 10 minutes per video, so I have to make this into 2 videos. So we left off by me trying to then explain how the quote helps answer the question. So Marlon is misplacing his anger. I'm going to rephrase this. So I'm trying to answer the question, why does Dory trying to speak whale upset Marlon? So I explain, I give a quote, and then I'm going to explain again. I say, overall, Marlon is upset with Dory, not because she thinks she can speak whale, but because she reminds him of his arguments with Nemo. The quote explained, or the quote I'm going to say, showed that Marlon felt like he was talking to Nemo when he was really talking to Dory. This reveals that Marlon is thinking about his arguments with Nemo. Dory is nothing more than a reminder of his frustration at the moment with Nemo. Okay. So that helps me, using the quote, answer the question. Now, your answers right now don't have to be this long. I'm just showing you eventually where they're going to go. I would say as long as you had another sentence after the quote, that would be helpful. But that question should really just try to connect the dots. And really, yeah, I could delete this. She reminds me of arguments with Nemo, which still upset Marlin. Okay, those arguments upset him. He's upset. So, and that's my blue. I don't know why I'm picking blue. I just am. Okay. So there should really be 3 parts to your answers. Part 1, you just give your answer. Part 2, you give the quote. Part 3, you kind of use that quote to help you explain your answer again. So you just have to kind of connect the dots. Okay. So up here, Mary doesn't want to play with the children because they're mean to her and tease her. They say, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. Okay. So this would be my yellow. This would be my pink. So what am I missing? That's right, I'm missing blue. So what I would have to do is either use this quote or find a different one, and I would have to connect the dots for the reader. How does this quote really show that answer? And that's not something that I can just tell you. That's something that you have to work on with this quiz. But I hope that this Finding Nemo quote helped. Just as a side note, I guess while we're here, this is the way to, this is going to unhighlight. I just need to get rid of this highlighting feature altogether. This is complicated. Okay. No color. So right here, this is how you provide a page. So I noticed, I'm just going to move this down a little bit. I noticed a lot of people saying, this is my answer. Pretend I just answered to this. Okay, so you're typing whatever it is. On page 43, they yell. And then whatever they yelled. All right, or I saw the children yelled. Here's the quote on page 43. Okay. But the proper way, and you'll learn this in the future, but this is just a little FYI. The proper way to cite the page number is to put it at the end of the quote like this. So and you don't actually say page, it's just kind of assumed there. So if I were to answer, Marlon shows his frustration with Dory when he yells. Okay. And then let's say I was reading a book just for convenience sake. Let's say that was on page 98. So what you do, I'm going to zoom in here so you can really see it. Okay. You don't put the period at the end of the quote. Okay. You put it outside of the quote after you give the page number in parentheses. So if I were to type this again, Mary shows her dissatisfaction. There you go. When she explains. Okay, so how do I end this? That's right. I put the quote, space, page number, whatever that's going to be, period. Okay. Some students ask what happens if the quote has a question mark at the end. Would I do this? No. Would I do this and then remove that? No. In fact, it would look something like this. Mary questioned, this is her question mark, end quote, page number, period. Okay, so that's just a little, if you want to practice that, that's not a requirement for me right now in 3rd and 4th grade. You don't need to necessarily be practicing that, but it's always, eventually that's going to be how you quote something in a question, an answer, or in a paper. So that might be helpful for you now. Just a little FYI, okay? I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions.